This is Sparta!
Spartans! What is your profession?
Facing an unstoppable army, vastly outnumbered, with no hope of survival, yet, you choose to stand your ground knowing that your courage and sacrifice could alter the course of history. This is the story of one of the most heroic last stands ever recorded. This is the Battle of Thermopylae. In 480 BC, King Leonidas of Sparta and his 300 elite warriors faced off against the might of the Persian Empire. What happened next became the stuff of legend, a battle not just for survival, but for the freedom of Greece. A defiant stand in the face of annihilation. Join us as we uncover the epic tale of bravery, betrayal, and the fight for liberty at the hot gates. Welcome to a journey back in time, to one of the most iconic battles in ancient history, the Battle of Thermopylae. This is a story of courage, strategy, and sacrifice, where a small group of warriors stood against a massive empire in defense of their homeland. Let's unravel the events, heroes, and legacy of this epic confrontation. The year is 480 BC. And the Persian Empire under King Xerxes I is at its peak. Having already conquered vast lands, Xerxes turns his gaze toward Greece, seeking to bring the fiercely independent Greek city-states under Persian control. His father, Darius I, had already made a failed attempt a decade earlier at the Battle of Marathon, and now Xerxes is determined to succeed where his father had failed. Xerxes assembles an enormous army, reported by ancient historians to number in the millions, though modern estimates place it closer to 100,000 to 150,000 soldiers. His naval fleet is equally impressive, ready to subdue the Greeks by land and sea. The Persian army was vast and diverse, drawing soldiers from across the empire, Medes, Egyptians, Indians, and even Ethiopians. The elite Persian immortals, Xerxes' personal guard, were believed to be invincible, their numbers replenished as quickly as they fell. Yet even these fearsome warriors would struggle against what awaited them at Thermopylae. Faced with this overwhelming force, the Greek city-states, often at odds with each other, are forced to unite against a common enemy. At the heart of this alliance stands King Leonidas of Sparta, a man destined to become a symbol of bravery and leadership. Leonidas wasn't just any king, he was the embodiment of Spartan ideals. The Spartans were no ordinary warriors. From a young age, they were molded by the harsh training of the agoge, a brutal education system that forged boys into elite soldiers. Honor, discipline, and sacrifice were core to their existence. And for a Spartan, death in battle was the ultimate glory. Leonidas was appointed the leader of the Greek forces, and he knew that the key to stopping the Persians lay in geography. The Persian army, despite its size, needed to pass through narrow mountain passes to reach the heart of Greece. The most important of these was the pass at Thermopylae, meaning the hot gates. This narrow, coastal pass would negate the numerical advantage of the Persians and allow the Greeks to hold their ground. It was here, at Thermopylae, that Leonidas would make his stand. While Leonidas and his men fought on land, the Greek navy held the line at Artemisium, preventing the Persian fleet from flanking them by sea. The coordinated resistance, both on land and at sea, demonstrated the strategic brilliance and unity of the Greek forces. Day after day, the Persians failed to break through the Greek lines, suffering heavy casualties. Xerxes, frustrated by the resistance, knew that time was running out. But then, a stroke of misfortune befell the Greeks. A local Greek named Ephialtes betrayed them, revealing a secret mountain path that would allow the Persians to outflank the defenders. Leonidas gathered a small force of around 7,000 men, including his famous 300 Spartans, to defend the pass. The Spartans, renowned for their military discipline and prowess, were accompanied by troops from other Greek city-states, including Thespians, Thebans, and others. Though vastly outnumbered, they were determined to make a stand. As Xerxes' army approached, he was confident of a swift victory. He sent emissaries to the Greek defenders, offering them a chance to surrender. But Leonidas' response was defiant. According to legend, when Xerxes demanded that the Greeks lay down their arms, Leonidas famously replied, "Molon Labe, come and take them." On the first day of battle, the Persians launched wave after wave of attacks against the Greeks. But the narrow pass prevented them from using their superior numbers. The Greeks fought in a phalanx formation, where their shields overlapped, and their long spears struck from behind the protection of the front line. This tight formation was devastatingly effective. The Persian infantry, lightly armed and armored, were no match for the heavily armored Greek hoplites. Even the immortals, Xerxes' elite guard, were repelled with significant losses. The betrayal of Ephialtes sealed the fate of the brave defenders at Thermopylae. Realizing that his position was now hopeless, Leonidas dismissed most of the Greek army, except for his 300 Spartans, 700 Thespians, and a few others who chose to stay and fight to the death. This final stand was not just an act of defiance but a deliberate choice to delay the Persian advance and give the rest of Greece time to prepare for battle. On the final day, the Persian forces encircled the Greeks. Leonidas and his men fought valiantly, but they were eventually overwhelmed by sheer numbers. Leonidas himself was killed, and his body was recovered by the Persians. However, the Spartans and their allies continued to resist until they were completely wiped out. Despite the defeat, the Battle of Thermopylae became a rallying cry for the Greeks. The bravery of Leonidas and his men inspired the Greek city-states to continue the fight. Though the Persians pressed on, they were dealt a significant blow by the Greek navy at the Battle of Salamis later that year. And in the following year, at the Battle of Plataea, the Persians were decisively defeated. The Battle of Thermopylae is remembered as a testament to the power of courage, determination, and sacrifice in the face of overwhelming odds. Though the Greeks were defeated at Thermopylae, their resistance slowed the Persian advance and gave Greece the time it needed to mount a successful defense. The battle also reinforced the idea of freedom and self-determination, principles that the Greeks were willing to die for. Today, Leonidas and his 300 Spartans are immortalized in history and culture, serving as symbols of heroism. Their stand at Thermopylae echoes through the ages, reminding us that even in the darkest of times, a small group of determined individuals can change the course of history. Thank you for joining us on this journey into the past. The Battle of Thermopylae remains one of the most legendary confrontations in human history. If you enjoyed this exploration of ancient history, be sure to like, share, and subscribe for more stories from the annals of time.